Imposter syndrome, self-doubt, comparison, sobriety. What if success isn't money, status, or applause, but learning to live with yourself in peace? Today I'm talking about the pressure to be ahead and what happens when you rebuild your life from rock bottom. This is TOMU, the open mic, unfiltered. Let's get fucking into it. When I was drinking or taking drugs, I wasn't trying to be somebody. I was trying to escape somebody. I was trying to escape me. I didn't like myself. I didn't like the way I thought. I didn't like the way I felt. And when I was abusing substances, I could take me away from me. That was the real appeal. It wasn't even about the party. It wasn't about being the wild one. It wasn't even about the buzz. It was about silence or lack of self-awareness. Same at the time. Because when I was sober back then, my mind was brutal. Constant noise, constant self-hate. You're a piece of shit. You don't deserve happiness. You'll never achieve anything. And the worst part, I believed it. Sometimes I'd even say it out loud when I was blackout drunk. That's how deep it had got. The nastiest person in my life was my own mind. And when I was drinking or taking substances, those voices, they shut up. For a few hours, I didn't hate myself. For a few hours, I felt confident, like I had this alter ego. Funny, outgoing, carefree. Nothing mattered except the moment. But here's the truth. It wasn't confidence. It was escape. People thought I was confident. They thought I was funny, sociable, the man about town. But inside, I felt like a scared little boy. I felt like an imposter, even then, even at the height of it. I wasn't chasing success back then. I wasn't building anything. I was escaping pressure, escaping reality, escaping me. And my definition of success, it was warped. Success was how wild the weekend was, how much I could take, how many parties I got invited to. The more chaotic the weekend, the more successful I felt. If the weekend was big, I was big. If the weekend was quiet, I felt small. That's how fragile it was. I cared more about my image than my peace. But the mad thing is, I wanted peace. I just had no idea how to get it. The life I was living was familiar. It was comfortable in its chaos. The other path, the healthier one, that was unknown. And fear kept me exactly where I was. Using wasn't about having fun. It was about not having to be alone with myself. And then I took that away. And I genuinely thought sobriety would make me stronger instantly. I thought I'd wake up clear, confident, powerful. And instead, it made me feel everything. When I stopped drinking, taking substances, the voices, they didn't disappear. They got louder. The fear got louder. The loneliness got louder. The doubt got louder. But something else got louder too. Hope. For the first time in a long time, there was this quiet understanding in me that said, this is your time now. This is your chance to change your life. And that feeling, exciting, terrifying. I was absolutely shitting myself, but I was excited. Because for once, I wasn't escaping. I was facing it. Now, did the self-doubt increase at first? I mean, of course it did. I've always had self-doubt. I still have self-doubt now, even over a year sober. But it's different. Before, my self-doubt was more about me as a person. You're not enough. You're broken. You're a waste. But now it's more prospective self-doubt, you know? It's not I'm worthless. It's am I doing this right? Is the podcast right? Are the socials right? Is YouTube the right move? Am I building the right future? It's doubt about direction, not about character. And that's growth. Socially at first, I just didn't go out. Because how does one go out without drinking? I mean, honestly, that was my whole personality at one point. And when I did eventually go out sober, I felt naked, exposed, like I was on a battlefield without my armor. No drink in my hand, no shield, no alter ego, just me. And that was fucking uncomfortable. But slowly the confidence came back. Not the loud one, not the chaotic one. Natural confidence, grounded confidence. The kind that doesn't disappear the next morning. And the comparison, it was interesting too. It wasn't really about other people at first. It was more comparing my old self to my new one. And I've had moments, honest moments, where I'd think, was I happier back then? Because back then it felt easier, more exciting, more intense. But here's the truth. I mean, that wasn't happiness. It was synthetic joy. Short-term highs for long-term pain. It was dopamine on tap, followed by shame, anxiety, and regret. Now, my happiness is real. It's natural. It's raw. And I can actually feel it. And it might sound mad, but I can actually feel happiness again. That might sound mad, but I couldn't really feel happiness before. I could feel excitement. I could feel chaos. But I couldn't feel steady joy. I mean, and now when I laugh, I'm actually laughing. When I feel peace, I actually feel it. And the emotions I had to sit with for the first time, sadness, fear, grief, shame, all the stuff I'd been numbing for years. And looking back at it now, I used to think substances made me confident, but they didn't. They just made me less aware of my thoughts, less aware of my pain, less aware of my surroundings. And when you're less aware, it's easier to look confident because you're not in your head. But that's not strength, that's sedation. Sobriety didn't make me stronger overnight. It stripped me. It took the armor off. And it forced me to build real strength inside. And that's when the question of success started to change for me. Because sobriety doesn't just remove substances. It removes excuses. It removes the mask. And then you're left asking, who am I actually now? People talk about imposter syndrome in business, in careers, in creative work. But nobody talks about imposter syndrome in sobriety. I mean, do I ever feel like I don't deserve success because of my past? No. I mean, if anything, it's the opposite. Because of my past, I feel like I do deserve success. I've paid enough. I've paid enough in pain. I've paid in shame. I've paid in lost time. I've paid in regret. I've paid in years I can't get back. So part of me genuinely feels like life owes me a payout. Not in money, not in fame, but in peace, in opportunity, and in impact. I've done the suffering, and now it's time to build. Now it's time for it to mean something. But here's where it gets interesting. For a long time, I didn't think I deserved happiness. Success, yeah. Happiness, I wasn't so sure. And that's mad when you think about it, because success and happiness aren't the same thing. Success for me now isn't about applause. It's about impact. If my experiences, my energy, my honesty can help even one person feel less alone, to me that's a success. That's payout. That's the return on all that pain. Do I feel the pressure though? Absolutely. I feel pressure to make up for lost time. Years where I did nothing with my potential. Evenings stoned on the sofa. Money pissed up against the wall. Weekends I can't remember. Whole chapters of my life erased. And when you wake up from that, it's like, right, now we move. Now we build. And now we make this count. Even I've always felt like I needed to overachieve to prove myself. But what's different now is it's not about proving myself to other people anymore. It's about proving it to me, to make myself proud, to show myself I matter, that I am capable, that I can achieve. Is that pressure to make sobriety worth it? Maybe. Or maybe it's just wanting this new life to be worth something. Because sobriety isn't the end goal. It's the foundation. And sometimes I think, honestly, if people at my part-time job knew the old version of me, they'd be shocked. You know, they think I'm quiet. And I laugh because I'm like, mate, if only you knew. But then that triggers the doubt. Was I more fun before? Am I boring now? Was I better then? And here's what I've realized, I'm not quieter, I'm calmer. I choose where to put my energy. I choose when to speak, if to speak. I don't chase drama anymore. That's not boring, that's growth. My definition of success has completely changed. Before, success was chaos. Now, success is peace. Success is love. Success is purpose. And when I was drinking and taking substances, I doubted myself in a strange way. I knew I had ability. I just didn't know how to use it. Now that I'm clear-minded, it's like the mental road has opened, but the doubt hasn't disappeared. It's just sharper, more constructive. It's no longer, you're worthless. It's, is this aligned? Is this right for you? What do you actually want now? It's like I'm becoming minimalistic with what I carry, mentally and spiritually. I'm not carrying chaos anymore. I'm choosing what stays. And when you strip everything back like that, you start asking a much bigger question. What even is success? Tied into that is this idea of being behind. Did I feel behind when I got sober? No. I probably felt right on time. I felt ready for my new life, ready to stop running, ready to build. I didn't feel late. I felt aligned. And I felt like people maybe had a head start. On paper, yeah, absolutely. Careers, savings, personal development, stable relationships. It looked like they were miles ahead. But here's what I realized. Most people didn't have what I had built. Resilience, determination, life experience, real world pain, character. You don't go through what I went through and come out soft. You come out forged. And yeah, watching people progress while I was rebuilding, it hit differently. But it actually hurt more watching people progress when I wasn't sober. Because I wanted that life. I just wasn't willing to do what it took. And now when I see people progressing, it doesn't sting the same. It excites me. It shows me what's possible. It reminds me I'm getting back my old life. It reminds me I'm getting my life back. And that word, behind, what does it even mean? Behind what? Behind who? There is no universal clock. There is no scoreboard in the sky. I'm not behind. I'm right on time. It's my timeline. It's my life. Nobody gets to decide if I'm early or late. I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm comparing myself to the version of me I think I could have been. The version that didn't spend years off his face. The version that started earlier. The version that stayed disciplined. I look at him sometimes and think, that's where I should be. That's who I should be. And yeah, sometimes maybe I'm comparing my chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 12. But more than that, I'm comparing myself to a fantasy timeline. A what-if version of my life. And that can hurt. But it also drives me. Because here's the truth. I can't change the years I lost. But I can dominate the years I have. And that's where success becomes something different. I mean, it's not catching up. It's not proving. It's not rushing. But building on purpose, on my terms. So if I'm not behind, and if success isn't chaos, then what is it? What does success actually mean to me now? Because for years I thought I knew. Big house, fast car, money in the bank, yachts, status. That's what we're showing, right? Scroll social media and you'll see it everywhere. People literally comparing their worth by net worth. Who decided that was success? The world we live in did. But here's the uncomfortable truth. When all is said and done, we all end up the same. 6 feet under. Reduced to dust and ash. No one is above anyone anymore. So if that's the ending, what actually matters? Success to me now is love, peace, purpose, legacy. It isn't about the money I made. It's about the hearts I touched, the lives I helped. If something I say helps someone not pick up a drink, if something I build helps someone feel less alone, that's success. Now here's a tough one. Is peace more valuable than praise? And if I'm honest, I mean, praise matters because praise can bring peace. When someone says, what you said helped me, that gives you peace. It reassures you that you're doing good. So maybe it's not the one or the other. Maybe praise is feedback, but peace is the foundation. And everything now feels like a win that it didn't before. Maintaining this podcast, building YouTube, preparing to cycle from Copenhagen to Athens in the summer, being back in the gym, moving my body, having money in the bank because I'm not blowing it on chaos. Just being here, present, alive, with hope inside me, that's a win. And the habits now, the boring stuff, the gym, getting stronger, sleeping properly, home-cooked meals, the stuff that doesn't look impressive online but builds you quietly, that's more powerful than any flashy achievement. And some people treat showing up sober like a success, and maybe that's true. But I think more than that, it's respect. It's respect for myself. It's respect for my life. Especially when I know what happens if I go the other way. And to be rich now is family. Starting a family with my beautiful girlfriend, living a long, healthy life, raising great kids, helping people find their hope and their purpose. That's wealth. That's richness. So if success had nothing to do with money, nothing to do with validation, nothing to do with applause, what would it look like? It would look simple. Peaceful mornings, a strong body, a clear mind, people you love around you, work that means something, and going to bed at night knowing you didn't run from yourself that day. That's it. That's success. If you're listening to this right now and feeling behind, maybe you're not behind. Maybe you're just rebuilding. Maybe you're just on time. I don't want to finish this episode pretending I've mastered all this, because I haven't. I still struggle. I still struggle with letting go of my old self. Even though it was chaos, it was my chaos. I felt alive. I built friendships in that chaos. I built stories. I built parts of my identity. And without those mistakes, those mad nights, those crazy adventures, I wouldn't be me. So sometimes I miss it. Of course. Not the destruction, but the intensity. I still struggle to be kind to myself as often as I'd like. I still have days where I think, is this life even for me? I mean, it's quieter now, calmer, less chaotic, and sometimes that feels smaller. Some days I struggle with motivation. Some days I don't want to do the work. Some days I feel like I'm pushing a rock uphill. But what I've learned is that the real power I have, the real power we all have, is this: to keep moving forward when we feel like quitting. That's it. That's our power. Life will test you. Life will put obstacles in our way. Sometimes it will feel like everything is stacked against you. But every time you push through one of those obstacles, you build resilience. You build quiet confidence. You build self-trust. And the confidence doesn't come from applause. It comes from surviving yourself. And I still have my triggers for doubt. Stagnation's a big one. Feeling stuck. Not seeing progress quickly enough. That feeling of, shouldn't I be further by now? That's the one. I'm still trying to learn grace, to slow down, because before it was fast-paced chaos. Now it's fast-paced production. Different energy, same intensity sometimes. I'm learning that Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither am I. I'm still learning how to love myself fully, unconditionally, not based on output, not based on success, just because I'm me. And if you're listening to this right now and you feel like an imposter, here's what I'd say. You're only an imposter if you believe the voice telling you that you are. The real imposter is that voice. You are you, fully, right now, and every small action you take, every gym session, every sober day, every uncomfortable conversation, every time you show up when you don't feel like it, it compounds. There is no wasted effort. There is no wasted day. There is no wasted time. Even the setbacks build you. Even the doubt sharpens you. You're not behind. You're not fake. You're real. You're worthy. And you're becoming. And maybe that's what success really is. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Much love from me to you. And remember, be good to yourself. Before you go, I just want to ask one thing. If you've enjoyed this episode, or if this podcast has helped you feel a little less alone, please rate and follow the show. It genuinely helps more than you probably realize. It allows this message to reach people who might really need it. And if you know someone, just one person who you think this episode could help, send it to them. Share it with them. Sometimes that small action can mean everything to someone who's struggling quietly. You can also follow us on our social medias. All the links are in the description. And if you want to support the podcast and help it grow a little quicker, you can buy me a coffee. That link's in the description too. And honestly, I'm just grateful for every bit of support. I appreciate you, legends.